Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs, which it's my honor to produce for you every single night. The reason why I produce videos in the nighttime is because it allows me to gather my thoughts and put together my thoughts on the franchises that we all grew up with, Descendants and Zombies. While I may have watched Zombies for the first time when I was 26 years old and Descendants for the first time when I was about 25, I know it's been forever since I've fallen in love with the Disney Channel franchise, but this is the first franchise in what feels like forever that I've fallen in love with and that I've been in love with for forever, and it's become the greatest honor of my life. From the very first moment a girl showed up at my door dressed up as her favorite Descendants character over a decade ago and inspired me to create a bunch of Descendants and Zombies videos for other people who love Descendants and Zombies so much thinking they would love it. Many years later she's gotten her wish because I could never find a niche that was incredibly supportive as this to fall in love with my videos and watch them and be so supportive like the fans of Descendants and Zombies have been. So because of you guys, one thing that I've realized is that passion is something you can forever and always trust in, because passion will never do you wrong and it will always steer the conversations into a positive direction. Guys, never be afraid to showcase your passion. Never be afraid to show the world what your passions are. I know a lot of people who watch these videos really don't feel confident in their passions and they're somewhat shy and don't want to let the world know and everybody know in the world what their passions are. But if you actually take the time to showcase your passions, passions will always do right by you, and they will always show you justification, and they will always lead you to that path that will show you your light, because everybody does have a light. No matter how long it takes you to find that light, everybody does have a light. It's just a matter of how and when you capture that light. I know that sounds a lot like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but because Cloud was one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters of all time and one of my favorite Nintendo characters of all time, I don't think there's a person alive that doesn't know what Final Fantasy is. And if you don't, you should probably check it out, because Final Fantasy gets better every single chapter. The thing is, everybody has a passion, everybody has a dream, even if they choose not to admit to it or not. And there are people that will never admit to having a dream, but for every lifetime there is at least one dream that they have. And the greatest realization is when a dream becomes a reality for you. And I know that a dream seems very far away and very hard to capture and realize, but when you finally seize that moment, the moment that you seize is something that you sit back and you realize, oh my God, this is really happening for me. And I think that's how Kylie Cantrell was first introduced to us. She was a star on Disney Channel that was just being sprinkled everywhere like Dove Cameron many years ago, and Kylie Cantrell, since being discovered and having such a huge fan base, went on to become one of the biggest Disney Channel stars of all time because she had a passion for Disney. You know, many years ago Kylie Cantrell was offered that same opportunity from Nickelodeon, and it was a better deal than Disney gave her, but she always, forever and always wanted to be a Disney girl. So when Disney finally called her after shutting down the opportunity and turning down the contractual rights from Nickelodeon, she took Disney up on the chance to become a superstar, and she didn't even know if she was going to be one. But because you guys received and responded to her so phenomenally, Kylie Cantrell became a megastar for Disney. And I think that people like Freya Sky are following in her footsteps. At just 16 years old now, Freya Sky still has a long way to go, but that doesn't mean that every dream Freya has won't become a reality. And I may be the only YouTuber that believes this. The only people who believe this are the diehard fans of Descendants and Zombies who have YouTube channels of their own that probably don't even talk about Descendants and Zombies as much as what I do. But the reason why I talk about Descendants and Zombies is simply put because I love it. It's not because I want to qualify for the YouTube monetization program or the opportunities. It's not because of having anything to do with the YPP program on YouTube. It's because I just love being on YouTube. Ever since I was 13 years old, younger than probably many of you are perhaps now, I wanted to have a YouTube channel, and I wanted my voice to be heard, and I wanted to be seen by more people than ever before. It had nothing to do with me wanting to be famous. I just wanted to have an audience to share my stories with as to why I was a Disney fan, and I just wanted the chance to showcase my passion because, as I just told you guys and shared this story with you, a passion always leads you in the right direction, and a passion is something that you should forever and always trust in. You know, if Kylie Cantrell had a passion for dancing and singing, growing up in a dance home to help her out, her mom being a professional dancer, her dad being a professional producer, I say more power to her. My issue lies, and forever and always have been, with the critics who have always chosen to criticize Kylie Cantrell and chosen to criticize the Descendants franchise in its entirety without even giving it a chance. I think if more people gave Descendants a chance and invested $5,000 into a YouTube channel like I recently did, I think Descendants of Zombies would be given more praise, it would be given more of a chance, and that's all I've ever wanted to do on this YouTube channel, along with meet people who are fans of Descendants of Zombies like I have been. You guys may have watched Descendants for the first time when you were 7 years old, maybe 10. I watched Descendants when I was 25 years old. And it just goes to show that watching Descendants at 25 years old is still cool, even if you're not 7 or 10 years old. The thing is, Descendants attracts all different age demographics, and people have felt inspired by Descendants. They felt inspired by whatever they were a fan of because of Disney. Because Disney has this thing where they can promote something and people can instantly fall in love with it. You take Frozen as one of the best examples I can use for you. How much merchandise was created because of Frozen? How much revenue was generated because of Frozen? It had everything to do with how a snowman wanted to find true love and embrace warm hugs, and he had the opportunity to do it. One of the most unforgettable scenes was when Olaf experienced warmth for the first time from Frozen, and he began to melt because his emotions were getting the better of him. I can go back years prior to that when all Aladdin ever wanted to do from Jasmine was to earn her trust. And when he finally got it, they went on a magical carpet ride that Aladdin and Jasmine both wished could never end because they were alone for the first time in the franchise, and they were able to tell each other how they felt about each other, and that was the first time they ever fell in love, and they've been in love ever since. I think some of the greatest classics of all time have been based off the same impression of how true love can exist for anybody and how happily ever after has even the slightest chance of existing. And that's where Descendants gained its reputation from and earned so much respect from people, was because of how inspiring it was of a franchise for both fans of it and families who watch it together. And I just wish that people would share the same retrospective when it comes to Descendants of Zombies that I have over the last decade. I may not have been uploading videos about Descendants as frequently as I am now over a decade ago, but periodically I was uploading a video about Descendants every single chance I had. And now, over a decade later, I have become the voice of Descendants and Zombies and have the most popular Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel on the internet. But it's not having anything to do with me uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies. It has everything to do with the love and support that you guys have shown this YouTube channel, because you guys brought me back. I have this conversation with many of my friends throughout every single day about, hey Jonathan Clarke, do you ever want to go down in history for being famous? It has nothing to do with me wanting to be famous. It has everything to do with me wanting to become known for the opinions I've shared with each and every one of you, and my desire to want to be involved with the Descendants and Zombies franchises as the writer and producer in the foreseeable future. I say this because if Disney would consider selling me the franchises, which I know are worth a lot, and worth even more in the hearts of a lot of people who have favorite characters and favorite moments they've held on to forever, that they've kept with them for forever and always, I would bring it to life in a way that no other writer and producer would ever have been able to bring it to life or ever could have imagined. I'm talking about Kenny Ortega, Jennifer Fang, and Kimmy Gatewood, who is the latest director to bring this franchise to life, or at least attempt to bring it to life. Now, without any doubt in my mind, they were able to do it. But I think what you really got to have is a creative energy and a creative sense for the direction of every character to give them a greater appreciation and to really put off a show. Because this is what this is. It's a show. And if anything, it's the greatest show in the world. It may sound a lot like The Greatest Show on Earth, which was a movie that Zac Efron starred in a number of years ago, but the reason why The Greatest Show on Earth was one of the greatest movies of all time was because of its story. The reason why The Sound of Musical was so revered was because of its story. The reason why The Wizard of Oz, which is being remade from Wicked to Wicked for Good now, coming out November 21st, is because of its story. Every musical has a story. It's just really hard to find and really to notice the story because the music is so overpowering. But the thing you've got to understand is Descendants is one of the first musicals in a really long time to present a feeling that you don't get from the other musicals that you watch because you focus too much on the music. But if you take your focus off of the music, The story that is represented in each one of these musicals that I've been a huge fan of for forever, even Romeo and Juliet, is incredibly beautiful. And it offers so much inspiration to people who actually pay attention to the story that sometimes is overpowered by this music. But the reason why the music is so overpowering is because the story is so emotional that sometimes the actors and actresses have to resort to telling the story through the power of music. And we saw this with Wicked just last year. We're going to be seeing it again this year with Wicked for Good, its sequel. And I, for one, believe heading into Wicked for Good is going to be the greatest sequel of all time. And it has nothing to do with me being a fan of Ariana Grande. It has everything to do with how I believe in the Wicked musical. And I know this to be more apparent than ever before because fans of Wicked themselves have subscribed to this YouTube channel, which, by the way, guys, shout out to you. Thank you so much for believing in Wicked as much as what you have, because I'm probably going to have to go watch this one by myself and take the bus because nobody's going to want to go with me because they're not as big of a fan of musicals as what I've ever been, and I've been a fan of musicals all of my life. I can remember in high school, one of the first musicals I ever had the honor of studying was The Sound of Music. It was a 3-hour VHS that I watched. Many of you are probably too young to remember what VHS cassette players were, and rewinding the movie and stuff. But I remember having to watch this and being blown away by the story because it was so beautiful and the music was just equally as beautiful. And then many years later, we have Descendants, we have Zombies, we have a High School Musical, Hannah Montana, beautiful musicals in their own right, Wicked, which I do have advance tickets for. And I honestly have had no regrets being a fan of musicals because it really lets a person know how you feel about just life in general, not just about the specific musical that you may be reviewing on YouTube, but it lets a person know how you feel about life. And I'll be honest with each and every one of you, I've had a very challenging life that I've lived. But some of the greatest honors through all the challenges that I may have encountered in my lifetime came because of each and every one of you being so supportive of my show and my vision for the futures of franchises like Descendants and Zombies. Because a lot of people on YouTube have thousands of subscribers, I get that. And there are more people on YouTube that have more subscribers than I've ever had that talk about Descendants and Zombies. But the reason why my show has become so revered and so popular and garnered a reputation for itself is because you guys know how I feel about Disney, you know how I feel about Descendants and Zombies and its characters, and how much I love the story. And that gives me great joy and great honor in uploading a video every single time that I do to this YouTube channel and look forward to doing in the foreseeable future. I can't seem to go a day without uploading at least one video about Descendants and Zombies and carrying on this conversation and picking it right up from where we left off. I can't go hours without doing it. And whatever I'm doing throughout the day, I'm always thinking about the fans of Descendants and Zombies and what they may be watching on YouTube when Jonathan Clarke on YouTube isn't producing a video about Descendants and Zombies. But rest assured, there will forever and always be a video from Jonathan Clarke pop up in your notifications with his opinion in it on his thoughts on Descendants and Zombies, because I'm so excited to share it with each and every one of you. Because many of you are friends because of Descendants and Zombies. I mean, years ago, I became friends with people because we collected Pongs and Pokemon cards and watched shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps. That's the reason why I became friends with the people I did. Now this generation, because it's represented by Descendants and Zombies and its powerful story and its powerful characters, friendships are happening because of Descendants and Zombies every single day. The only thing you know is that you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies, you want to watch Descendants and Zombies videos, you want to sing the songs and dance and, have friends that feel the same way. And it's a lot easier to become friends now because Disney has so many captivating franchises of all time. Some of them that I can mention are Tangled, Frozen, Finding Nemo, 101 Dalmatians, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and now Descendants and Zombies that draw inspiration for its characters because of successful franchises like Beauty and the Beast. In all honesty, guys, I will forever believe that Aurora was one of the most beautiful Disney princesses of all time, from 1959's classic, Sleeping Beauty. That story of her pricking her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel was one of the most unpredictable stories of all time. But in 1959, I can remember reading reviews in the late 80s of how much criticism that movie received. And yes, I was reading reviews of movies such as Sleeping Beauty at the age of 6 years old because I was such a huge fan of it. Ever since I knew how to read, I wouldn't be surprised to catch me reading a review of Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast, because I was one of those guys that always gave the benefit of the doubt to whatever Disney was promoting, regardless of how much criticism it received. I remember it being criticized for its music, its plot, its characters. Nobody wanted to give Sleeping Beauty the benefit of the doubt. And nearly 50 years later, nobody wants to give Disney any benefit of the doubt for what it's creating now when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. But because of your guys' support, That's why Descendants of Zombies showed up. That's why Descendants of Zombies continues to show up, and more people are more supportive of a franchise than ever before. I've seen so many franchises come and go, from Recess to Hannah Montana to Kim Possible to Wizards of Waverly Place to Good Luck Charlie, which was a show that I was particularly fond of. Bridget Mendler was somebody that I couldn't seem to get enough of by 2010. And when she made the announcement that she was parting ways with the Disney company to become the CEO of a space station company with her husband, I was kind of heartbroken of her, but I was also still very supportive of Bridget Mendler because I saw so much talent in Bridget Mendler. I saw talent in Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus many years ago, a part of that same generation, but I never saw so much talent from somebody like Bridget Mendler. And when I heard her play the songs in the Lemonade Mouth musical by 2011, inspired by the book, I fell in love with that franchise as well. Everything Bridget Mendler seemed to do, she seemed to give life to and give a whole new purpose to. And I really wish that, stars like this could experience musicals like Descendants and Zombies, because in all honesty, or could have been a part of it, these franchises are franchises that we will never see again. We will never have stars like this ever again. So why we choose to criticize them, it's beyond me why we do it and how we can get away with criticizing them when we should be giving them praise. I just recently saw a movie called Regretting You, and the thing that was showcased in Regretting You was a passion for love unlike anything that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I saw this one today. I was at the red carpet premiere of it, and I was blown away by it. And I have this to say to each and every one of you, because that movie represented passion so phenomenally. If you have a passion for whatever you have a passion for, continue on pursuing that passion and believing in that passion, along with showcasing that passion. Because a passion will never show you the wrong way, the right direction to take, and it will forever and always be supportive of you just as much as you're supportive of it. If you have a passion for drawing, singing, acting, follow through with that passion, because that passion will eventually become a dream that will become a reality for you. I don't think you should ever give up on a passion, the same way I don't think that Kylie Control should ever give up on any of us, or we should ever give up on Kylie Control, because the feeling is really mutual when you talk about your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, because people fell in love with the story, but they also fell in love with the characters, and I for one have never ever wanted to say goodbye. I've just wanted to remain forever and always supportive of these stars, because they inspire us to feel differently about our own lives and really have allowed to put our lives into perspective. This has been the greatest honor of my life. I don't know how many subscribers this YouTube channel is going to continue to receive, but this has been the greatest honor of my life, so much so that people are leaving comments about the passion that I have, wishing that the passions they had were just as powerful. The reality of life is everybody has a passion, even if you don't think that you do have a passion or you don't do that great of a job showcasing it. We all have one life to live, and it's all about the time that we are allocated and how we spend the time that we are allocated around the ones that we love. Because the ones that we love and that love us are the most incredibly supportive people of our lifetime. So because we only have one lifetime to live, and people like this only come into our lifetime only once, family members, friends, I think that really allows us to showcase our passions and give us that encouragement that we've forever and always been lacking, to showcase our passions to the world in so many emphatic and so many unbelievable ways. Why do you think Walt Disney created all these wonderful characters? He created all these wonderful characters because that's what he believed in. Why do you think Miley Cyrus wanted to pursue a career as an actress and a singer? Because that's what she believed in. Why do you think Dove Cameron became such a huge megastar for Disney along with Kylie Control? Because that's what they believed in and that's what they wanted to pursue. My question to everybody watching this video is, what do you want your legacies to be defined through doing? What do you want to be remembered because of? Do you want to be remembered for being the best cheerleader, the best singer, the best track and field runner, the best swimmer? If any of those questions apply to each and every one of you, then you should pursue your dreams, because you only have one life to live. And the interesting thing about life is we never know how much time each one of us have, because it's forever and always elapsing through an invisible hourglass. And when you put that into perspective, I think more people feel more courageous than perhaps ever before to showcase their passions, because everybody's passions are different. That is something I respect. That's something I can find time in appreciating, because that's what creates diversity. And that's the reason why we're all here on this earth and we all feel differently the way that we do. Because if everybody felt the same, this world would be a pretty boring place. And I never ever wanted to come to that. All I've ever wanted to do is be a part of whatever you guys think is special, whatever you guys think is cool, and this YouTube channel allowed me the honor of doing that. And that's why I can do this all over again tomorrow morning and the day after that and the day after that. Because there is no better place in the world I would rather be than sitting behind this podcast microphone, having had the honor to talk to each and every one of you every night after sunset. Because Descendants and Zombies is what undeniably brought us all together. It's the passion that we have forever and always had, and I think that's a passion that's going to last for forever and always. Just the same as we have a passion for every character, every princess that has ever felt this made inspired. And in all honesty, guys, from my heart to yours, I can never seem to thank you guys enough for all the love and support that you have continuously and forever and always shown this YouTube channel. So what do you say we keep this conversation going for just a little while longer for everybody who loves Descendants and Zombies? I'm investing in a new computer system over the next couple of weeks. I will keep you guys updated on that, but it's a powerful computer system that is going to allow me to produce far more innovative videos than ever before. I'll let you know when that happens. But until then, guys, keep Descendants and Zombies in your hearts forever and always, because Descendants and Zombies deserves prestige. It deserves to be talked about in the same light that franchises of the past that have came and gone have forever and always been talked about. I don't think that people like Clarke and Clarke deserve to be criticized, and I forever and always wanted to do something about that just to let them know that everything was going to be all right. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. We will do this all over again tomorrow morning, because life is that much sweeter when all of us are. Guys, seriously, from my heart to yours, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it. And let me know how you feel about it down in the comments below. I love doing this, guys. I love being on YouTube, and I love being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, just like each and every one of you.